Welcome. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell, share the show. Thank you for listening. This is Joey. Let's get started. Right off the top, happy holidays, happy new year. I hope everybody's new year was a safe, happy, prosperous new year. I hope you guys are all having great new beginnings and all that stuff. I mean, it's day one, but shit, let's start off right? Hope you guys all had good, Christmases, whether whatever you celebrate. Hope you didn't go broke or go into debt trying to make some little ass kids happy that don't going to appreciate whatever you do. Hope your kids appreciate what you did. Mine went great. Shit, I had to tell my kids to stop saying thank you. It was cracking, right? It's been a good year. It's been a really good year for your boy. Got to be honest with you. I can't complain. To be honest with you, my year was so good. I didn't even have a New Year's resolution. that's like consciously, like it's not like I forgot or I didn't think about it to the last minute. No, I could not think of anything I wanted to change from 2024 to 2025. I'm on the right path. Things are going like they should. So I'm like, keep it going, right? Like one more again. Your year was good when your New Year's resolution is one more again, right? So I can't complain at all. I hope all your loved ones and stuff are healthy and safe and you get more time with them. All the good things, I hope they happen to all y'all. Thank you for listening. I mean that. And speaking of having a good year, and this is what I want this episode to really focus on. Speaking of having a good year, you know who had just a banger of a year? The black community. Black folks, black voters had a bang up year in 2024. And I wanted to point out one critique of black folks, especially when it comes to politics, is we don't count our wins. Black folks are so used to lecturing each other and lecturing the community and trying to browbeat ourselves and shame each other that we never really sit back and go, hey, this was a good one. Hey, we did good on this one. Not bad. We move the goalpost on ourselves a lot because we've conditioned ourselves to feel like we should never be happy. I can understand never being satisfied. I can understand never being content. I can understand never settling. But to never, ever, ever give yourself credit, to never, ever, ever accept your win and take your bow, that's insane. And that's a recipe for burning yourself out. You work in a job, you got to have off days. You got to have a vacation at least once a year. You got to be able to treat yourself every now and then. You know what I'm saying? That keeps you going. You have to have a break from your routine, and you have to acknowledge when you are. This is why you have checklists and vision boards and plans, so you can see your progress. And the progress encourages you to continue to progress. But with black people, whenever it appears that whenever we seem to accomplish something, no matter how big, no matter how impressive, before we can even process the victory, somebody's already coming at us with a finger wag. One of us is already coming to us wagging their finger, telling us how we ain't did shit until we do the next thing, which is fine, but you got to process that you did do some shit, right? Certainly you acknowledge when you're backsliding. So I want to take this opportunity to point out and break down all of our political wins going into 2025 with minimal effort. We honestly should just give ourselves a round of applause. We've made some pretty big headways, haven't spent a dime, haven't even really exerted that much energy. We've all seen that meme of Michael Jackson hopping out on the stage during a big concert, and he just stands there for a minute in his little pose, and everybody's just going crazy, just going bananas. He just jumps in from a trap from beneath the stage, just pops up and just stands there, and people going crazy. Or over 9,000, right? He ain't did not one dance move. He ain't sung one note. Ain't even no music playing. He just stood there for like 10 minutes, and people just, oh my God, Michael! That's literally all the black community has done this election cycle. So let's start detailing these victories. Let's start from the Joe Biden 2020 election. Joe Biden won the election thanks to black folks. He wouldn't even have made it past the primary if it wasn't for black folks, right? And like I pointed out before, what they do during the election cycle is all during the campaign season for the election. It's black voter, black voter, black voter, black voter this, black voter that, right? And then the second that we're doing the exit polls, for the election, they immediately transfer the narrative from black voter, black voter, black voter to college educated white moms, college educated whites, millennials, right? Instant erasure. And black folks could have gone back to the usual routine of being ignored and overlooked and taken for granted by the Democratic Party. But black people, the first victory was we showed discipline and consistency. The Democrats usually get us because by the time we realize we've been had, we've already voted for them. And after that 4 years and the election cycle comes around again, they're able to put a battery in our back, and we forget that they screwed us over 4 years ago, and we get duped and vote for them again, lather, rinse, repeat, right? So the first victory was black people were very consistent. You can listen to all my episodes. Please do. You can listen to all my episodes. And I was detailing that whole 4 years. Black people were consistently telling any exit poll, any polling company, any news outlet that'll listen, we're not happy with this Democratic Party. We're not happy with the Democratic Party's policies. Y'all not keeping up with your promises. And it's affecting our communities negatively. We don't like this. We were very consistent on this. We warned again and again and again and again, we're not going to keep voting for this. Every poll showed black support was waning for the Democratic Party. Not just Joe Biden, the entire Democratic Party, right? And they just ignored it because they figured, yeah. Those niggers will forget in 4 years. We'll be fine. I told you this was going to happen. And black folks were consistent. We couldn't really read nothing from the midterms because, as I've said before, black folks never show up for the midterms. Most people don't. But those polls were consistent for the entire 4 years of Joe Biden's one-term ass presidency. It was consistently declining. If that ain't standing on business, that's the first victory. Consistency and discipline. So you showed white society you mean business. You're not going to be able to come over here with that. This is an existential threat. Oh, this is more important than any single policy. Oh, we can't let perfect be the enemy of the good and all that bullshit. No. We're not voting for you. And we told you this the whole time. All you had to do was offer some tangibles. We offered an ultimatum. And we stayed consistent and disciplined with it. They tried literally everything. Meg the Stallion and Glorilla coochie dancing in front of us. No voting, no vucking. They tried the gender war tactic and try to pit black women against black men and use black women as a weapon against the black community. They tried all the symbolism that they could. They tried to scare you with the whole KKK boogeyman talk. None of it moved black folks because we told you, you want these roles, nigga? Tangibles. It's very, very powerful. And now They know we mean what we say. That is the very first victory. Very, very first victory. Second victory, black men specifically. Give yourself a pat on the back, all of us. We've been hearing all this time black women saying, we want you to lead. We want you to lead. You niggas need to lead. Niggas led. Niggas led. And we exposed some things. See, when all your politics is built on bullshit, nothing brings the house down like the truth. Things got exposed. And certain people, it's not nothing hateful, it's not nothing hurtful, but certain people needed to be reminded of something. They needed to have their eyes open to something. And black women, it's not an attack on you because there's going to be plenty of good stuff for you in a minute, but I got to be real. You needed to be notified that you're not the backbone of the black community like that. You're part of the black community. You're an important part of the black community. We love you. You're our counterpart. But you can't let white folks pump your head up like you're a special need. The second anybody, male, female, gay, straight, whatever, in the black community starts buying that bullshit that they're a special black that's different from the rest, now you're not much use to the team. Because you're going to start thinking for yourself. And that's exactly what a lot of y'all were doing. And I told you, the second these white folks realize that you can't deliver on what they assume you can deliver on, which is you're supposed to bring the black vote. The black vote is black women and black men combined. It's not black men by ourselves. We can't do this shit by ourselves. It's not black women by themselves. You can't do this shit by yourself. It requires coordination and cooperation. And just like I told you, the second these white folks realize you can't deliver the black male vote, they're going to drop you like a bad habit. And look where we are. There was never really your friends like that. It was all for show because you could do something for them. And now you can't do that for them. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we were able to clear your eyes about that. Not about bringing you down a peg. It's not about putting you, well, it is about putting you in your place. Your place is next to us. You started forgetting you were a nigger. You started thinking you were a person of color. And it's good that you got humbled a little bit and got the wool removed from your eyes. So we got discipline and consistency. That's what we showed. That's one victory. We got exposure and revelation on how it really is, and it's undeniable. That's another victory. Not only were black women exposed, there's no other way to put it, the Democratic Party was exposed. All that saving democracy talk, and we got to make sure that decency is on light. Look at the Democratic Party's claws come out when they realized you weren't going to do what they said. We're fighting against racism. Oh, you're not going to vote for? Well, forget you niggers anyway. Right? Democrats turned into damn American History X. The second black folks didn't do what they wanted them to do. They're the same old Dixiecrats from the 1800s. Look at all these white folks. Don't forget how they was talking to you. Speaking of exposure, it exposed that the Obamas don't got the sway with the black community. See, a lot of people had black credit with white folks. A lot of black people were promising white people that they had this kind of sway and influence over the black community that gave them heft with the white community. I told you guys this a long time ago. And now that that's been exposed, that you don't have that, all your power's gone. Look at Obama. You came out and tried to chastise black people, and it backfired. And you probably, well, Kamala wasn't going to win anyway, but you made the loss worst doing that bullshit. And what did it do? It exposed to white folks. Oh, he's not a real nigger like that. The homies don't respect him. Look at him. They're ignoring him. Niggas didn't rock with you like that. Niggas didn't rock with Obama like that from the jump, like you're America's black dad. We were supporting you, trying to be supportive of a black person, like we get lectured about not doing all the time. Everything got exposed. And it was beautiful. No one knew how to deal with that. So you got discipline and consistency, victory 1. Exposure and revelation, victory 2. And victory number 3, and there's plenty more, but this one's one of my favorites, if not probably my favorite. You eradicated, you wiped out, you destroyed the entire Boule Black Bootlick class. Speaking of exposure and no credibility, these people completely, this is kind of 2 and 3, because you exposed them, but you totally nullified them. All the Roland Martins, the Angela Ryes, the Joy Reids, all these people, the Tiffany Crosses, all these people, the Al Sharptons, all these people that made their entire career selling black souls to white folks, like goddamn Shang Tsung. All these coons, all these professional class coons. I told you there was a black political economy. These opportunists, all these people, the hustle has dried up. You're like a nigga who sells weed in a state where weed just became legal. The hustle is gone, my nigga. You got to get a regular job. It's over. It's over. You were barely respected in the first place. Listen, look at how Kamala Harris's black campaign managers and campaign team was complaining about how they were getting treated. It's over. Everybody knows you don't got no sway, you don't got no influence with the black community like that. It was all a sham wow. And now we finally, as a black people, can disconnect that cord from the black boule class trying to be the managers of black society. That's a major victory. No one's listening to Roland Martin in the white community to figure out what the blacks want. No one's listening to Angela Rye. Literally, she got a weak ass little podcast. Angela Rye literally crying on air, saying what I'm saying verbatim. Nobody listens to us in the black community. Crying, tears. She been on damn near suicide watch since Trump won. Just horribly. Just taking this horribly. Because she knows it's over. You got rid of your bootlicks. You got the black women back on code. You were disciplined for 4 years. I mean, it's not like the Biden-Harris campaign gave you a choice. They dropping immigrants in your communities by the hundreds, making it super inconvenient for you. You didn't have no choice in Chicago but to go down to them town hall meetings and them council meetings and confront your mayor, right? Like you were on their ass. This is the most politically involved. Black people were more politically involved in 2024 than in 2008. In 2008, we voted. In 2024, we were involved in politics in America. Those are two totally different things. Those are two totally different things. You didn't just, well, I'm going to reflexively vote for the other guy. No. You remove yourself from the two-party system. I heard so many black people saying, hey, yeah, I might vote Cornel West. I might vote Green Party. I might abstain from, nah, I'm not going to abstain from voting because then my vote won't count at all. I want them to know that I showed up, but I didn't show up for them. Black folks are making very, very intelligent political moves. You didn't fall for the bullshit this time. And I'm so proud of us. We did a wonderful job this year. Wonderful job. Black folks didn't fall for the gender war stuff. See, most black women is 10 toes down good black women. They magnify and they signal boost the ones that aren't, that they recruit to try to brood some animosity in the men towards the women. Oh, this is what your women think of you. This is how your women talk to you. We don't know them women. Black community walk right by Angela Rye. Walk right by a Joy Reid. You don't got no pull or no sway. And you're going to know what I'm talking about when 2028's creeping up. And you're going to see that the way that they try to approach black people, they're going to have that bass taken out their voice. They're going to correct that tone. They're going to fix their face. And they're going to, let me take my hat off, put it in my hand. Hi, Mr. Black folks, Mr. and Mrs. Black folks. Could you guys please come out and vote? Yeah, you guys are going to be real respectful. You're not going to be trying to talk to us through damn Charlemagne the God who came read. You ain't going to be talking to us through damn twerking ass Megan Thee Stallion. And I like Glorilla, but there's a time and a place. You ain't going to be talking to us through that. You're going to be coming to us through proper platforms like you do with all these other groups. And you're going to be talking tangibles. No more symbolics. No more tokenism, right? You're going to have to give it up. The black vote is in question. It's 3 dots. That was the point, is to make the Democrats have to doubt themselves. You, and like I said before, you know black folks is whooping ass if the Democratic Party has to what during campaign season now? Spend money on their black politicians. Because there will be primaries. There will be challenges. Number 4. And this could be part of exposure, but this needs its own slot. And it really needs its own episode, but I'll get to that later. Let's talk immigration. And this is a big one. You have destroyed, you have turned it into pink mist. You have destroyed the American immigrant story. In this last 4 years, you have destroyed the American immigrant story. And I implore every black influencer that gives a damn about politics, you need to stay on this narrative. So you've changed the narrative of the immigrant tale in America. You've exposed that whole hustle. White folks can't, if you stick to this narrative and you keep hammering this home, because white folks have said it out their white ass mouths now, and now you can't take it back. See, you can't talk about how immigrants come here to America with nothing anymore, because we saw that immigrants come here to America fresh out of a Venezuelan prison and get paid $15,000 a month to stay up in a penthouse. We've seen, you can't tell us these immigrants come here with nothing. When we sat back and saw people coming fresh out of a Venezuelan prison and coming here and getting credit cards and food stamps. You can't tell us, why can't you blacks just go to school and focus on your education, when you shut down the schools in Chicago so all these flooded in immigrants from prisons all over the world can come here and sleep on the floor in the school. You shut down the parks in the black neighborhoods so people could come here and stuff those parks in with all these immigrants that you're bussing in. Let's put black folks to the side for a minute. I want to show you black people what you did. Calling people's bluffs, pulling people's cards, checking hoe tags. Look at this. Forget black people for a minute. Look at the average working class, middle class don't exist no more. It's all working class or rich. Look at the average white person right now and how they're living and how they feel about these immigrants. See, sometimes when you're dealing with a punk ass person, you don't got to keep going back and forth arguing with they bitch ass. You just let them bury themselves. You just sit back and let them make a goddamn fool of themselves, and everybody in the world can see. And you go, see, yeah, see what we got to deal with? See? And everybody goes, I see why. Right? White people sat back and saw how ridiculous the immigration policies were of the Democratic Party. So you're just going to let everybody in, no kind of background checks. You're going to give them IDs, give them a fresh start on credit, give them loans. Remember, they were trying to pass a bill to give immigrants housing loans at a time. You don't get more tone deaf than this as the Democratic Party. You were going to pass a bill to give immigrants housing loans at a time when regular Americans can't get housing loans because the entire housing market is jacked up. Think about that for a minute. You was going to give immigrants, you were giving immigrants 15,000. I didn't carry the one wrong. I'm not talking about 1,500. 15 racks a month. That's $180,000 a year per immigrant to live in penthouses in Chicago, Illinois, and in New York City. White folks saw that. White folks can add that up. Now white folks know, oh, damn, maybe the blacks are right. Those aren't bootstraps. That ain't picking yourself up by your bootstraps. Like you tell niggas. Black folks saw in New York City where you have stop and frisk for niggas, right? You come outside your apartment door, you ain't even did shit but yawn and rub the eye boogers out your eye, and you got 3 cops patting you down because, you know. But you got Tren de Agua, Venezuelan, freshly released prisoner gangs running around, unidentified, unregistered in the country, committing crimes. And when they do it, you got to let them go. They're like the foreign national in Lethal Weapon. Like, I had diplomatic immunity. Like, you can't touch them. They were beating up the police, stabbing at the police in the immigration offices. Crazed, violent, deranged, no checking, no restrictions. White folks saw that. Running around eating people's cats and shit like that. White people saw that. White people had to suffer that. Things started getting cold. I told y'all before, and this is another part of it. I told y'all before. Democrats will talk about, oh, sanctuary cities, oh, refugees. I mean, these people are scared. They're from a horrible place. And, oh, my God, they're just trying to have a place to be safe. And then when you start really pointing out all the bullshit with the immigrants, all that helping hand shit drops. And they start talking about, well, who else is going to pick your fruit, damn it? Who else is going to do these jobs for pennies on the dollar? It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought this was some humanitarian stuff. You mean this is a lick for you, right? Regular blue collar working class white folks saw how them bleeding heart liberals, y'all ever heard of not in my backyard? How them bleeding heart liberals, when them immigrants started getting shipped to them sanctuary cities, what do? They sung Kumbaya. They gave them a couple of, celery treats with peanut butter and bird seeds on them or whatever they like to eat at their little rich white people banquets. They gave them some food and threw a blanket over them and got a good photo opportunity. And as soon as that picture got taken, they shipped them niggas right down to the hood. White people saw that. You got white people, racist white people, not all of them racist, I'm saying, but even the racist white people were going, well, that's not fair to our niggers. Right? Even white people saw, even racist KKK card carrying Ku Klux Klan member white folks saw, now hold on. Now hold on. Those may be niggers, but those niggers are American, right? Why are these immigrants coming in doing all this stuff? You know good and hell well, if Tren de Agua was Tren de nigga, the police wouldn't be standing standing aside while you come in and take over apartment complexes in white neighborhoods. You know good and hell well that would not fly. Everybody's seen it. You destroyed the immigrant tail. That's why you got now. Oh, and then make it even better. Like I said, let people expose themselves. You see, these immigrants then got so comfortable. I'm 41. I'm in my 40s. I'm old enough to remember when immigrants used to come over here humble. They used to come over here humble. Even the ones that snuck in. They come over here. I just come to America to work. I'm so sorry. I just. You look at these immigrants that was coming in now. These immigrants that were over at the caravan and all that kind of shit. They was coming in cocky. They was coming in arrogant. They was coming in registering with an app and shit. They was coming in cocky because they knew that they had the cover fire from the Democratic Party. They was coming in making demands. Hey, y'all got me waiting out here too long. Talking shit. This all you got? 15,000? That's it? White folks started seeing how it really is. They saw how the sausage was made. And they know now we can't come to black folks with that. These people work hard bullshit. These people are criminals, just like you released from Venezuela 1,000,000 King Vaughns and just let them loose all over America and didn't think that was going to have some blowback. You let military age, all male Chinese soldiers march in through the border. You put our Customs and Border Patrol agents at risk to be killed and attacked by the cartel because the cartel runs the whole illegal immigration process if you're running through Mexico. Just pay them a couple $100, you know what I'm saying? And then not only that, you also expose, because not a lot of them people got that money to be trafficked into America by the cartel. So guess what that means? That means you got to work it off. So guess what that means? That means Democratic Party, you've been supporting human trafficking. Human trafficking and modern day slavery. You've been helping the cartel operate human trafficking in America by turning a blind eye and completely removing your borders. You made the country less safe. You made the country less secure. And if I'm an enemy to America, if I'm a country that's an enemy to America, hell, you're letting me march right through your gates. White people saw that. White people saw that. And not only that, see, those are the low skill manual labor type of immigrants that people are used to. But see, this is so good. All these immigrants then got so cocky. All these immigrants then got so cocky and got to saying the quiet parts out loud that now the H-1B visa immigrants then got caught up. Again, not black folks. Black folks ain't said a word. White folks have had enough. They're white people mad. They're peeved. They're perturbed. They're fit to be tied, right? They've had it up to here. Doohickey, darn it, heck. You know what I'm saying? Like they've had enough. Vivek Ramaswamy, remember, this is how funny this is. Remember Vivek Ramaswamy was doing his best I love white people coon dance? See, we act like only black people coon for white folks. Immigrants are some of the biggest coons because they got to tap dance and do that soft shoe to get in here. But once they get in, they switch it up. Remember Vivek Ramaswamy was trying to do all that MAGA talk and do all that pro-white talk and come in saying all the things he thought white folks liked and, oh, there is no racism and slavery never happened and, Martin Luther King wasn't shit and, hey, he came in talking all that shit, try to appease or to please white folks because he thought that was going to work. And he was talking to Ann Coulter and saying all the good shit. And she said, oh, yeah, that's great. Said, but I'd never vote for you because you're an Indian. And people thought she was saying that just being racist, like, I don't like your skin color. No, she was saying you're not really American. You don't have an American mindset. See, If Elon Musk was sitting right in front of Ann Coulter talking that shit and he was running for president, she would have said the same shit. She would have said, I can't vote for you. You're a South African. She wasn't talking about his color when she said that. She was talking about his allegiance. Vivek Ramaswamy, look at how stereotypical it is. You're an Indian dude that was trying to show these white folks that I'm a white guy like you. I'm rocking with you. I'm a white guy like you. And the second you even got a position anywhere near adjacent to power, the very first thing you did is to try to make a move to get some of your cousins up in here from India. White folks see what you're trying to do. They don't trust that. And you came in insulting them, talking about they lazy and all this kind of shit. And let me tell you how else you destroyed the immigrant narrative about we just work hard and we don't cause trouble and we're just smarter and harder working. Look what's happening. Look at this. For those of you that don't know, Vivek Ramaswamy was trying to say, I'm going to bring in more Indians and stuff because they're so smart and they work so hard. Now, remember, this is a tale that they tell black folks all the time. All these Asians that come in, they're so much smarter than you. These Indians that come in, they get these jobs because they're so much more educated than you. Now, look at Eric Weinstein, literal genius from the scientific community, pointing out, look at this. Pointing out, no, that's not the reason why you guys get these jobs or get to come here at all or ever. That's a made up factor that, we don't have enough people. Because Vivek Ramaswamy was trying to say, well, we would hire Americans to do these tech jobs and to do these scientific jobs, but there's not enough Americans that are smart enough to do it. So we got to go outside of America to go bring these smart Indians in. Eric Weinstein pointed out with receipts. Now, that's bullshit. That's always been bullshit. It's only been about bringing in people that'll do shit for cheaper. That's it. That's it. The entire, we don't have enough of this kind of people, so we got to go bring them in, especially in the scientific community. Here's proof that was always bullshit. The data was erroneous. And the people that did it now admit that they were just doing it so that they could have a reason to justify. They needed a justification to go in and get cheaper labor. And also, when you go outside of America and get cheaper labor, that brings the cost of everything down in America for labor because now you've squashed the pay rate down. Everybody wants $50 an hour to do this thing, and you bring in Habibi over here that'll do it for $5. Now the job pays $5, $10. It was never about how smart you are. It was always about how little you'll work for. No different than an unskilled worker. I remember when all you Indians first got them customer service help desk jobs with Microsoft. Got shit to do with no education. We let you think that. Look at how white folks are talking now. They're coming outside of all that bullshit and going, nah, you guys never were smarter. You guys never worked harder. We just needed cheap labor. You weren't even smarter than look at this. Look at this. You got Steve Bannon flat out telling you, hey, hold up. It's not fair that you got black people, black Americans, and white Americans having to compete for these jobs with these Indians and these Asians coming from other countries, not because they're so smart, but because they'll do it for dirt cheap. $5 American to an Indian can feed his whole family a whole bunch of curry. Of course, he'll do it for less, especially if you let him work remote, or even if he comes here to America, he can sit back and work on minimum resources and kick all his money back to his family back home. The whole lie's been exposed now. The whole house of cards then came down. So you can't say all that now that Vivek Ramaswamy was talking shit about Americans and calling them lazy, and now that you've encountered with data and evidence that you've been hiding this whole time, showing, bringing you guys in was always just about cheap labor. You guys aren't the special, super smart people that you guys try to pretend. We just said that shit to pump you up and make you feel like you were better than the niggas. But since you done got out of hand, Frankenstein's monster done got out of control. Now we got to put you back in your place and let you know, it was never about how hard you work or how smart you were We just needed cheap labor after slavery. Look at this. You got white folks talking about, see, now that people are starting to realize it's really rich versus poor, and most of you white Americans are poor. And most of you white Americans are poor not because you're lazy, but because the system is rigged for these elites, just like it's been rigged against niggas. Now that that's getting exposed and you're seeing who your real enemy is all the time, has been the whole time. Now that you're seeing that, you can't stick with the bullshit narrative of black lazy, black dumb. That's why black not good. Right now you're starting to see, now you're starting to be the nigger white folks in America. They're putting you in nigger positions where you got to explain why you don't got a good job and shit. Now you understand how rigged this thing is. You got white folks going after H-1B visa American immigrants. You got white folks saying these rich people are importing their slaves. Translation, these immigrants done wore out their welcome. These immigrants are looking like scabs crossing a picket line to these white folks. Look at the powder keg we have. White folks on the right, blue collar white folks, got the House, the Senate, and they got the House, the Senate, and the White House. They've got the whole wave and the whole mood right now. And you chose, Vivek Ramaswamy, to open your rabbit ass mouth and start talking that shit. And you just confirmed what a lot of blue collar working class white folks suspect about a lot of immigrants, is that you niggas been waiting to try to take over, and that you guys are dubious. You guys' loyalties are funny. This is just a lick for a lot of immigrants. This is everyday life for an American. I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't seen it this good for black folks and this bad for immigrants since 9/11. Black people who grew up during the 9/11. Do you remember how funny Arabs used to act towards black people here in America? You remember how funny they used to act towards black people? And then 9/11 happened and they had to be niggas for a few years. White folks hate and focus and hatred was on them. And all of a sudden they're, oh no, brother, help me out. No, nigga, I don't want to get in your cab. You used to not be able to catch a cab. Young people, there used to be this thing called taxi cabs before Uber, right? They were often yellow. You used to have to physically call them. There was no app to pick them up, to schedule nothing. You had to call them and schedule a pickup. Or you'd see a cab out somewhere and you'd put your arm out in taxi, and those taxi cabs are often driven by Arabs. And them Arabs would purposefully not pick up black people. And I knew the game had changed when the Arabs were going out their way to pick niggas up. They was that desperate for a friend in America. White folks was beating Arabs the fuck up out here. It was terrorizing them, blowing up mosques and shit. It was bad. It was great for us. If you were a black person, you could walk right by a police check stop. You could walk right by. How you doing, nigger? I got Mohammed here on the ground. No, you go right by, Jamal. You're good. They didn't care if you were selling crack. Nigga, are you a terrorist? That was the focus. That was the focus. Arabs remember that shit. And it's about to get right back to shit like that for everybody, for every other group in a minute. That model minority shit only gets you so far until you become a threat. Ask the Japanese. Ask the Japanese. That model minority shit only gets you so far, and then you become a threat. And here we are. So I say all that to say this. We're at the point where the immigrants, all colors, all nationalities, have wore out their welcome. Even Elon Musk. I'm looking online. I'm seeing white folks talking shit about Elon Musk. You ain't no real American, bro. You're a South African. You're a South African Boer. You got white Americans damn near ready to start singing, kill the Boer. This is what happened. When you got white folks shooting at and tripping on healthcare executives. The system's breaking down. White folks are starting to see, oh, the elites are the real enemy. And they're using these immigrants as a buffer class, as a scab class against us. Not against the niggers no more. That was fine. Against us. And that's unacceptable. Told y'all episodes ago, I said, all we got to do to fix this immigrant problem is just step back and be quiet. Because they've been talking so loud, they don't realize they're talking in front of a hot mic. And the loudest, proudest, most ignorant ones of all of them was the Africans. And you the least protected, nigga. You're the most tethered to our fate. Your fate's tethered to our disposition. And you acted like you're in good with the white folks. No, nigga, you're the hired help. All you guys are one big, giant Windrush generation. And you can all get sent back. You got Donald Trump talking about we're going to have the biggest roundup in American history. Going to be rolling through every state in America, whomping and a stomping. It was all good just a week ago. And all this happened because of black folks. Victory number 5, which ties into number 4. You got white folks infighting. So you notice whenever black folks start arguing, all it takes is 2 black people arguing for some nigga to come by chastising and wagging his finger going, see, this is why niggas can't get along. This is why we ain't getting ahead, because we ain't getting along. White folks can have full-on mass shootouts, murders with each other, killing each other with impunity, bombing the shit out of each other. We don't say nothing. This whole thing is starting to break the hell down. You got white on white crime, white on white violence, white on white hate, white on white discontent, left and right. And I ain't talking about Democrat versus Republican. I'm talking Republican on Republican, Democrat on Democrat. This whole thing fell apart because you removed the black Jenga piece. You did this, black folks. You did this. Didn't cost you no money. Didn't even take a lot of effort. All you did was stay home. All you did was vote the other white person. You got white folks online shitting on these Indians so hard that the Indians are trying to pass a Stop Indian Hate bill right now, which is going to fall flat on its ass. See, it's not just African immigrants that are tethered to black people. All you niggas that are not white, that live in this country, that breathe safe at night, that sleep safe at night, normally I would say you're welcome because black folks provide that for you. But since we've revoked that, now I'm going to say good luck because you're on your own. And it's cold out there without that nigger coat, isn't it? You got white folks infighting. You got the whole machine breaking down. And it's going to be a while before it recovers. And these people will never again be able to chastise you about how hard or how much better these immigrants are than you niggas. You got Steve Bannon, a card-carrying, out there, won't even deny it, white nationalist, right? This is just out there. Steve Bannon, who when they show him on TV and they put his name on the bottom of the screen of this title, it says Steve Bannon, white power, right? Not even lying. You got Steve Bannon going, yeah, man, these immigrants ain't no better than no black folks. They just have more access because we needed cheap labor. And now we got to start removing that. And we need 20% black representation in Silicon Valley. We'd rather train Americans. See, when you got white, flat out, unrepentant racist white folks saying those niggers may be niggers, but at least those niggers are American, right? That's a problem for you. We're familiar with each other. We don't get along, but we're familiar with each other. They know what we will and won't do. Gang bang, dope slang, and hip hop. We ain't took down no Twin Towers. We don't got no allegiances to other countries. We ain't trying to bring more of us in here. Vivek Ramaswamy didn't even waste time trying to flip work for the Indians. You just blew your whole cover. You could have just been quiet. You just blew your whole cover. And right now, Trump is standing behind him. I guarantee you, give it 3 weeks because Trump will flip flop. Trump going to lick his finger, put his wet finger in the air, see which way the political winds are blowing with his constituency and say, yeah, I'm good. Never mind. Bye, Elon. Bye, Vivek. I'm cool. He needs that white support. And not only that, you've brewed up so much anger. See, here's the thing. All the disrespect and the invasion that y'all did in these black neighborhoods with all these immigrants, for as savage and as uncivilized and as untamed as we're supposed to be as black people, we ain't brought no pain to you guys. We went to City Hall. We formally complained. We did our civic duty and we voted you. We voted for policy that would get rid of you. We didn't bring no violence y'all's way. Y'all's the one that was being violent, Tren de Agua and all you Venezuelans. We didn't bring no violence y'all's way yet. But these white folks, though, ooh, these white folks, let me tell you, the anger that's brewing with these white folks and the language I see, I look at these white supremacist chat rooms. I be in the 4chans, just quiet, just watching. I be in the storm fronts. You got some smoke coming your way. Ask the Muslims, like I said earlier, ask the Arabs how they was doing them during 9/11, during the beginnings of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. They was committing a whole lot of terroristic stuff towards these Arabs. They was attacking Arabs that was American soldiers in American soldier uniforms. They was attacking people that looked Arab. Oh, beat that nigga's ass. Oh, beat that Arab's ass. I'm Indian. You look too brown. So what you think they finna do now? After seeing all them Venezuelans tearing New York City up, all them Venezuelans tearing Colorado up, coming to cities near you. It's finna get ugly. Black folks didn't do it. We're sitting by eating our chicken. We ain't bother nobody. We ain't bother nobody, boss. You got to deal with the white folks. Like I always told you, you got to deal with the white folks. You thought you was in good with the white folks. It's getting ugly out here. And this is all because of black people. Black people, we did it. So I don't want to hear shit about, oh, what black folks need to do to get ahead. And you niggas, no, this was a masterful political performance by the black community. Great job. Great job. We did it. And we got to press the gas and move on it more now. See, people thought our game plan was that we were going to vote for Daddy Trump and we were going to hope he gives us reparations. No, that was never the game plan. We were prepared from the jump to not get reparations. We was offering you the opportunity in the Democratic Party to save yourself. We're Batman. You're Ra's al Ghul. We're on the train. We don't got to kill you, but we don't got to save you neither. So when you guys played that game to the end, we said, okay, all right, we'll see how that works. And now if you're Roland Martin or something, you thought you was going to be able to get a little bit of Schadenfreude, satisfaction from, y'all voted for Trump. You thought Trump was going to save you and look at you now. No, we knew going in what it was going to be. But we're black folks. We can take this shit. Y'all can't. Oh, and don't think I ain't forgot. I'm spinning the block on these Asians. Look at the Asians. You was doing all that tap dancing, getting rid of affirmative action and this, and now you're complaining that you can't get into these colleges. Now you're complaining that you're suffering from racism that you said didn't exist. Asians, you're the main ones that should have been goddamn quiet. Because keeping it funky, the American government wants to go to war with China. Most of the Asians you see walking around, most of the immigrants you see walking around here, most of the modern day immigrants that are coming in, they're not Hispanics. They're not Haitians, they're not Africans. They're Asian, and they're far and away primarily Chinese. And China is being looked at as a near peer rival militarily. China's being looked at as a competitor, an adversary economically and globally with America. What did I say earlier about how model minority is the last step in America to being a threat? White Americans don't look at you Chinese that are walking around as American. They look at you as Chinese. Not just Chinese by race, Chinese by nationality and loyalty. There's only one group of people that have ever been roped up and locked away because of what their connected nation did to America, and that's Asian folks. All it took was for Japan to bomb one harbor, and they said, hey, round all them Japanese up. I don't give a damn. They've been here all their life. Somebody snitched. Somebody's a spy. You don't think that would happen now? You don't think that would happen right now? I hate to go off the rails a little bit, but this relates back. I've lived through 9/11 and COVID. And you know what that taught me? Is that we didn't learn shit. When 9/11 happened, the American people, we were all so panicked and scared and didn't know what to do that we happily signed away rights during the Patriot Act, and we let these people take over and start invading our privacy. We looked the other way at all kinds of human rights violations and personal rights violations. That whole Constitution got suspended. We were totally cool with them invading the dignity and privacy of all these Arabs. And then after it was over and we came back to our senses, we said, oh my God, we can't let that happen again. They fooled us. They told us there was weapons of mass destruction, and then they lied, and we went to war for 20 years. We lost all these Americans. We made all these harsh, rash decisions that didn't solve anything. Oh my goodness, we didn't have any kind of discernment. Wow, we'll never do that again. And then somebody caught a damn coronavirus, and we started doing the exact same shit. Lock everybody up that doesn't have a shot and keep them out of the stores and make them have a mask. And we're going to do this. We're going to arrest people for this and that. And people was fighting in grocery stores because they couldn't get in. It turned right back into chaos. The government was making rash, harsh decisions yet again. Do you remember some of the stuff that we were talking about considering? They were talking about giving you guys an injection shot that would allow them to be able to see if you've gotten your boosters. All the unions and shit and all the religious groups didn't have your back. Everybody, listen, just real quick. There keeps trying to be this white narrative that a lot of good cops lost their job because of defund the police. Defund the police never happened. Not one cop has been fired or let go or reprimanded other than the guy that choked out George Floyd. And they're going to let him go and he can join the force probably the next day. Not one single cop has been reprimanded or gotten in trouble for beating up black folks and none of that shit. Cops was losing their job because they refused to get that shot. Cops was walking off the force because they refused to get that shot. You beat a nigga half to death or beat a nigga all the way to death, that police union got your back. You're going to get some sensitivity training. They're going to get some additional funding, yada, yada, yada. You're in a union. You're in one of the most powerful unions in the country. But if you don't get this shot, nigga, that union ain't got your back at all. Police was leaving the force because they didn't want to get that shot. That was it. Those were the only cops that were getting let go en masse like that. So you got the Asians, the Indians, the Hispanics, and at the bottom of the barrel, the Africans, all forms of immigrant. You niggas are on hell. Even the white folks a little bit. See, the white folks can blend in a little better. But shit, the Americans don't like the Canadians. The Americans don't like the Europeans right now. And thanks to Elon Musk, the Americans damn sure don't like the South Afrikaner whites. It's all bad right now. You got white Americans saying, we're Americans right now. Because if you don't have any kind of control over your border, or over your nationality, over your citizenship, what does it even mean to be American? This is where it's starting to get good. And see, black folks used to be a dam for all that. We used to be a border for all that. We used to hold and prop the Democratic Party's big tent party up so that you didn't see all this. This was another thing you exposed. There is no big tent party in the Democratic Party without the black vote. These other groups ain't got no connection with each other. These other groups don't lift half the weight that the black vote does. Think about it. I've been telling you guys this whole time for over 2 years. You don't need the entire black vote to go one way or another. All you need to do is reduce the black vote for the Democratic Party by 5%. 5% less black vote turnout, Obama doesn't even win in 2008. So when you started seeing that Kamala Harris was 12, 15, 18% lower than Obama and Hillary and even Biden, you knew it was a wrap. You've broken down the media. The media had been exposed to all these regular voters that they've been lying the whole time, making it seem like it was close. It wasn't even close. It was an ass whooping the whole time. Listen to how many advantages you had over Trump and you still lost. You had the entire media apparatus against this dude. You had all kinds of trumped up charges brought upon him to try to disqualify him from even being able to run for president. You tried to kill this nigga twice. Rigged debates. You had fact checkers only for him. And you, not only did you still lose, you got your ass whooped. Let me tell you something. And this is something, I've been watching elections for years, right? I've been watching elections since Herbert Walker Bush. One thing they never do, and I believe I said this last episode, they never call the West Coast states early like that because they know the West Coast states are going to vote blue. It's almost a formality. You had to call the West Coast states super early for Kamala just so that the Electoral College votes looked normal on the screen. Because otherwise, it would have been like 210 to 58. That's an ass whooping. That's almost a Mondale ass whooping. Walter Mondale only won one state against Ronald Reagan. I'm old. So anyway, this is where we are, black people. We're in a very advantageous position politically. We have no more misleaders. Look at them. They're over here damn near about to indict Al Sharpton. You see, all the black bootlicks failed the white community. And now it's punishment time. You were going to get cabinet positions and little TV shows. And no, you'll get none of that shit now. Now they're checking Al Sharpton for, well, Al Sharpton accepted money from Kamala Harris's campaign before that soft interview, and we got to investigate that. You're in trouble now. You niggas failed. You have no misleaders no more. White folks can't use these misleaders that they appointed, these fake messiahs that they appointed to look like they're representing you. The jig is up. They know you don't listen to them no more. All these immigrants that take your jobs and block your opportunities and fill your roles in these quotas, gone. They're all about to get rolled up out of here. The whole white America as a whole has soured on the idea of immigration. That's a huge victory for the black community. Huge victory. They're not going to tell those lion ass immigrant narratives no more. Oh, they work so hard, they're so smart, and they just want it more. And nope, there was cheaper. There was cheaper. And you know it was cheaper than that, but we can't do that anymore. Right? They didn't start bringing in immigrants by the droves to do all this labor shit until they couldn't do slavery no more. That's the truth. The gender war shit don't work no more. Now the Democratic Party and the Republican Party got to court your vote. Even if the Republican Party is just courting your vote just to inhibit and to make the lives harder for the Democratic Party, that's still courting your vote. You can at least still pretend like I might go with the Republicans. That threat alone makes the Democrats have to act right and have to earn your vote. You're winning up and down the line right now. So don't let no niggas try to chastise you about, oh, well, y'all ain't on nothing, and we can't get it. You're doing great right now. Doing fabulous. We have to keep that consistency, though. And now what we have to do is something that historically we don't do very well. Now we have to capitalize. Capitalizing on something, this is a capitalistic state, right? This is capitalism. Capitalizing on something is seizing an opportunity. Timing is everything. You see what it is now. It's not going to be like this forever, and it's not even going to be like this for a long time. But white society is discombobulated right now. The shields are down. The birds are landing on the alien spaceship. You can hit it with some mortar rounds right now. It's vulnerable. Signing out.